so much and welcome to Taking the Dis Out of Disability Live. I want to start off by saying that it is an honor to be here today, surrounded by some of the greatest educators, innovators, and game changers in the state of California. I also want to acknowledge that it is lunchtime, and I am going to be chatting with you for 40 minutes. So trust me when I say that I will do everything in my power to make this as meaningful and fun as possible. Now, I have worked with this organization before, and I have met some of these powerful women at a previous engagement. I have the privilege and good fortune to sit and chat with a number of you, and it is very clear to me that this is a group of strong leaders who pride themselves in having open minds and open hearts. And it is because of this that I am not only honored to be here, but I also feel a tremendous amount of gratitude to the DKG convention for giving me this opportunity to share my work, my philosophy, and myself in the most authentic way possible. My objectives here are simple: to create awareness, to promote inclusion for all people, to inspire change, and to empower leaders to join the movement toward inclusion, togetherness, and ultimately love. As we all know, we are living through a devastating time, not only for the United States of America, but for the world at large. Everything is heavy, from entertainment to politics. We cannot turn a corner without facing the ugly truth, which is that equity doesn't always exist in our culture. But I promise you that this presentation will not be dark or heavy. There is definitely a time and a place for that, and I honor those who fight the front lines. But we are at the DKG convention, enjoying ourselves, and I want to keep the good vibes going. For anyone who does not know me, my name is Stefan Torres-Esquer, otherwise known as Mr. Stefan. My tagline is taking the dis out of disability, and I am determined to change the way that people perceive different. I have spent my entire career advocating for inclusion and awareness for anyone who might fall into the category of different due to their age, race, gender, preference, color, size, shape, culture, religion, political party, and of course, ability. I have a short video to share with all of you to help you understand a little bit more about who I am, why I'm here, and what I am all about.
Welcome. My name is Mr. Stefan. This is my sign name because my best friend thinks that my personality is loud. I am a teacher, a public speaker, content creator, and ability advocate. My goal is to help to create a better future for all people and to make sure that everyone, and I mean everyone, is included in that future. It is an honor to have you here watching me try. I myself am different in so many ways. I don't look, dress, think, work, or love in a way that people perceive as normal. I've struggled because of this for so many years, but today I am grateful to have found my way. It is extremely important for me to support and encourage anyone who feels that they are not normal. Anyone who feels that they are stupid, ugly, weird, or different. These are my people. So if that's you, I love you, and you are enough.
So I hope that at this point, it is very clear that my mission is to create inclusion and awareness for all people, and to promote the idea that different is beautiful. But who exactly is this for? Who am I talking to? Well, the simple answer is that I am talking to you. You do not need prior knowledge or any specific identity in order to begin your journey toward a more inclusive leadership. Regardless of your skin tone, regardless of your culture, regardless of where you're from, I am here for you, and I am here with you. So beginning right now, and for the duration of my presentation, no one here is innocent and no one here is guilty. Before I move on, I want to ask you to do something for me. But don't worry, I know that you are having lunch. I am going to make this super easy for you. I want to give you 2 minutes to make a list of 3 qualities or characteristics that have made you feel different. And again, regardless of how much privilege you have had or how much privilege you have not had, every person knows what it feels like to be othered. So make a list. You can write it down. You can keep it in your head. The point is that I want us to move forward with a shared mindset. And for those of you who are feeling brave and would like to go the extra mile, you can share your list in the chat box, and you might even win a prize. So let me tell you how that will work. And I just want to quickly acknowledge that I see on my side that this slide is not showing up for you. And that is just fine because I'm telling you the instructions live. So it'll be super easy. Again, all you have to do is use the chat box to send me your list of 3 things that have made you feel different in your life. Include your email address in the message, and you will have a chance to win. The first 3 people to submit their list will win a digital gift card that I will send to your email. So again, you will have 2 minutes to send me a list of 3 qualities or characteristics that have made you feel different. You will include your email address so that I know where to send the prize if you win. So get ready because the timer will start now. Okay, the time is up. Thank you so much to everybody who participated, and especially to those who were brave enough to share with us in the chat box. I've checked the chat box. We have our first 3 submissions, and for all 3 of you, congratulations. I will send you a prize in your email after this meeting. And again, I just want to say how important it is that you were vulnerable enough to share your responses with us. I will not read them out loud, just because, you know, I realize that some of this might be personal, but I do encourage all of you to look through the chat, just to, if you're interested in seeing what some of the other people in the group are feeling like, some of the differences and some of the qualities and characteristics that have made other people feel different in their own lives. All right. So let's see. So congratulations once again to the winners. I cannot wait for you to enjoy some goodies on me. And thank you so much to everybody who participated. So now it is time for me to share with you my own shocking responses. And I want to make it very clear that I use the word shocking in the most sarcastic way possible, because at this point, you could probably guess my answers from 5 miles away, but I will share them regardless. First of all, I am brown. We all know that it is not always fun or easy to have colored skin in America, but still I am extremely proud of who I am, where I come from, and I am so grateful to have the opportunity to represent Hispanics on a public platform just like this one. Secondly, I was born into the lower middle class. You can probably tell that just by looking at me. But finally, the most obvious of all of my responses, the moment that we have all been waiting for. Let's say it together. Gay. So I am sure that this response was not a surprise to anybody here. And again, the point of this exercise is to remind you that we are all more the same than we are different. We all know the pain of being different, whether it's because of weight, skin tone, facial features, family structure, etc., etc., etc. We all at some point have felt the pain of being othered. So moving forward, I believe that it will be so important for us to hold on to this connection, to that piece of ourselves, and to those who have been other in our own communities. Now, I know that we have a lot of teachers and former teachers in the room today. And to you, I say thank you. Because teaching is hard. On top of just lesson planning and delivery, there is so much more that teachers think about, like behavior management, dealing with parents, reporting to administrators, working through our weekends and vacations, and constantly being faced with new and increasingly impossible tasks. And special education is worse, because now we're also talking about managing an adult staff, writing legal contracts, and the fact that you must always wear your running shoes because you never know when you will need to chase or escape from a student. We don't do this job for the money. We don't do this job for the glory or the appreciation, because let's be honest, we don't get those things most of the time. Teachers, good teachers, teach for the love of the students. So I currently teach for Stockton Unified School District at the Young Adult Program for students who have what we currently refer to as moderate to severe intellectual disabilities. And I have spent my entire career working with this population. Typically, when I share this information, people will say, "Oh my gosh, you are a saint." And trust me, I'm not. Or they'll say, "Those students that you work with, they are the sweetest little angels." And trust me, they are not. But this just reminds me that I work with a population that most of the world does not understand or identify with. The amazing, talented, and abled individuals who I have the privilege of working with are so often left behind, forgotten, excluded, and ignored in the communities that we create together. And they aren't the only ones. Obviously, my main focus is disability, but I would like to take this conversation beyond the realms of ability, because we here at the DKG convention are limitless. So let's take this idea that different is beautiful, and let's apply that to all people. Because every single person in this room is a leader. Whether you are a teacher, a therapist, a custodian, or a cashier. Whether you are a sibling, a grandparent, a coworker, or a customer, you have the power to set an example. You have the power to lead. And leaders, good leaders, lead for the love of their people. I do realize that there are so many people who don't know where to start when it comes to issues surrounding diversity. But I hope that by the end of this session, you will see how your simple actions can create monumental change. I myself grew up with so much love all around me. But I also grew up in a household of abuse. I was judged, bullied, and picked apart constantly in my own home. On top of that, I knew from a very early age that I was different in a way that even my own family might not accept. I grew up with crippling anxiety and zero self-worth. So I went to school and church and parties and gatherings, and I would shut down. I truly did not feel that I deserved to speak, so I didn't. And no one recognized this as pain. No one knew what was going on in my home or in my mind. To most of the world, I was just a weird, shy, sensitive boy who was different. The few people who knew that something wasn't right did everything in their power to shield me. But in the end, what could they really have done for me? In a world that does not respect people unless they fit into a box. Since then, I have invested days, weeks, months, and years into research to transform myself into something that other people would perceive as cool, fun, sexy, popular. And when I was able to achieve some level of that, I decided that I would dedicate my life to finding and serving the most underrepresented, underfunded, underrated, underestimated individuals, and that I would lead them into a better tomorrow. So it makes sense that I would end up in special education. People with disabilities still experience oppression, segregation, and prejudice almost in a 1960s fashion. So I teach them and I love them. The work that I do does take patience, not because it takes patience to work with special needs, but because it takes patience to educate the rest of the world. When I talk about inclusion, I am not just talking about the classroom. I am talking about the world. We need to create inclusion everywhere, across settings, across age groups, across race, gender, preference, color, and ability. We have the power to be leaders. Notice that I did not say to become leaders, but to be leaders. To make the conscious decision to lead. You don't have to be a teacher or a manager or a politician to influence other people. So then who is responsible to make this world a better place? Who is responsible to create true inclusion in our communities? Is it the young, the old, the rich, the poor? We are all responsible for creating a bigger, better, more inclusive future because we are the leaders, all of us. So how do we do it? Well, I can't teach you that. The beautiful thing is that each one of us will create inclusion in our own way and on our own terms. What I can do is get you started. The first step is the most important step. I hope that when you leave here today, you will challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to look beyond a person's difference, to see beyond a person's difference. That is the first step. Even if it feels weird, uncomfortable, annoying, or even scary, to step outside of what you think that you know. If you do not at least try, then you are making the conscious decision not to lead. Step 2 is to educate yourself. Get to know more about the differences that make you feel uncomfortable. When you are educated, then you can educate other people. So now you are seeing beyond differences, and you're educated, you're learning, you're teaching others. The next most powerful step is to model. Model the behaviors that you believe will create a better future for all people. Because leaders are influential, and you are a leader. So use your power to influence. It is an honor for me to be here with some of the greatest leaders, some of the most influential people in California. I am so proud to be working once again with DKG. Before we go, I want to share with you a personal story and a real life example of what inclusive leadership can look like. I am a San Joaquin Delta College graduate, and for me, college was a time for transition. I was kicked out of my house at 16 years old, which was the same year that I started college. I had graduated high school really early. I was trying to date girls, exploring men, failing classes. Basically, I was a mess. Somewhere around my second or third semester, I really lost all control. I was falling more and more behind until I just gave up altogether. But I had one teacher who was able to see something in me from the very start of our relationship. And during this messy time in my life, she reached out on multiple occasions with the intention of helping me. But I couldn't face her. So I ignored her messages. And eventually, I stopped attending her classes. So I failed her class and the rest of my classes, obviously. But a few weeks later, I sent her an email. I told her that I was ashamed. I had failed her. I had failed myself. I then proceeded to vent, and I told her that I had been dating a girl, and that wasn't working out for obvious reasons. I was failing school. I was failing at life. I wasn't living at home with my family. I felt that I was not educated when it came to sex, when it came to safety. I was scared that I was dying of HIV. It was such a crazy and confusing time for me. And I pretty much laid that all out for this teacher to see. And it was not because I wanted anything in return. It was much too late for grades to be changed. I didn't expect that anything would happen as a result other than I trusted her. And I was able to tell her all of this because she saw past me being different. She saw past my pain. She saw past my failure and my predicament. She saw me. A few weeks later, I was sitting in a history class. The next semester had started. I was trying my hand again, and suddenly there was a knock at the door. It was a big auditorium style room full of students, and the teacher came back and said, "There's someone here for Stephen Torres-Esquer." And I was in shock. Who the heck would possibly be at the door of this college class waiting for me? So I got up out of my seat. I walked down the stairs to the door, And lo and behold, this teacher somehow found my schedule, found my location, made her way to this class to pull me out and make sure that I was okay. And until this point, I hadn't really known a lot of people who cared whether or not I was okay. So basically, she told me, go back inside, grab your things, you are coming with me. She drove me in her own car on her own time to the HIV and AIDS clinic, where she helped me to sign up to get an HIV test. She waited for me to get my test results. She picked up some pamphlets. She gave me the talk, and she motivated me to pull myself back together. Since then, this woman has made quite a name for herself, and she is still, to this day, one of the most influential people in my life. And this was not an isolated incident. She has inspired so many other people to follow their dreams. And it is truly a privilege to stand here today and tell my story in honor of this teacher, this leader, a hero. So I would like to take the last few minutes of time that I have here to name this person, because this is someone who is part of the DKG organization, who many of you probably know, and it would mean everything to me if you would join me in a virtual celebration of my friend and mentor, Miss Diane Oren. So here is a beautiful picture of myself and my mother with Miss Diane Oren. And again, she is a true life example of what inclusive leadership can look like, of what love can look like, not just in the classroom, but outside of the classroom, in the community, in the society, in our cities, in our states, in our countries. She is an example of what it can look like to have an open mind and an open heart, and to move people into their power. So I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who made it possible for me to be here today. I know that it's a lot to plan an event, and it's even more hard when you have to transition from in-person to the virtual world. So I've been working with everybody for a while now to get here in front of you guys to just hang out, share my story, and I am very honored. I am very grateful. I am so super appreciative for this chance to hang out once again with the DKG group. I hope to be back. I hope to see you guys again. And if you need anything, you can let me know. I have my email here, my website. And once again, thank you so much. Thank you to Julie. Thank you to everybody who worked hard to put this together and to bring me on. I am so happy I did it. Thank you so much, guys.
I wish you could hear all the applause that people are giving you, Stefan.
Oh, thank you for the applause.
Yeah. You are in sign language.
Yay.
You just are, I think, are the most honest human being that I've heard speak publicly. And you're getting, Barbara Beard is going to be jealous because she's always the weepy one, but I'm going to be weepy now. But your words were so inspiring, and we just appreciate so much that you were with us today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I really am so super grateful. I'm so happy I got to do this. I feel very lucky. So thank you so much.
Sure. Tell your kids.
I'd also like to say thank you to Stefan for being our presenter today.